ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you to this Bhagavad Gita study classes. So we are discussing right now the Bhagavad Gita second chapter, verse number 25 we'll discuss today. So the format will be the first half an hour I'll take 2-3 sloka from the Bhagavad Gita and I'll explain the meaning and the practical application of those sloka in our day-to-day life. And then after half an hour we'll open the forum for discussion. And if you have any questions, any comment, anything, you can just discuss in that forum. And while the class is going on, if you have any questions in your mind, it is coming while I'm explaining, then you just can put that in the chat box, so that after the class we can take that questions, so that it will be not bother your mind. Okay, let's begin. So in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is just like it's a summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Krishna just summarizes everything in this one chapter. So right now we are discussing the section from the verse 11 to verse 30. In this section, Krishna is explaining about the knowledge of soul. We are not this body, but we are the soul. This concept is Krishna clarifying in this section. So today we are beginning the discussion from the verse 25. The verse 25 explains the qualities of the soul. So I'll recite the verse, and those who have Bhagavad Gita with you all, kindly open your book and can refer the sloka. Or if you have something in your phone, you can open the sloka so that you can also understand the recitation of the verse. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 25. Abhyaktoyam achintoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmadevam viditvainam nanu sochitum arhasi. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, Krishna is already explaining so many varieties of qualities of the soul, and in this sloka also Krishna is explaining few more qualities of the soul. So what are the few more qualities of the soul? Abhyaktoyam. Sorry, power cut. So Krishna is explaining the first quality is abhyaktoyam. Abhyaktoyam means what? Imperceptible. Imperceptible means it's like you cannot sense the soul. Means you cannot see the soul. It's abhyakta. There is no form. That is called abhyakta. Vyakta means you can see that thing. Abhyakta means you cannot see that thing. So ayam, this soul is abhyakta ayam. And what is the second quality? The second quality is achintoyam. Achintyo. Achintyo means you can figure out with your intelligence. You can think and you can figure out with your intelligence what is the substance. Achintyo ayam. This sloka is beyond your intelligence. No matter how much you crack your head, you cannot understand, you cannot perceive the soul. Achintya. Because the soul's energy is pervaded throughout the body in the form of consciousness. So it's not a one matter that at one place it is there. The consciousness is pervading everywhere, and it is very difficult to understand with your material intelligence. Achinto ayam. And then the third quality is, and I would request that you, while listening, the main points, what all you are really listening, you can put in the chat box. So that will help you to also remember, because something you are writing, then it will go into your memory, and it will help others also to understand the important points what we are discussing. So I would request you all, just like you can see the previous class also, I have taken the points from the participants. So like the abhyakta, achintya, these are the quality you can write in the chat box. So that will be helpful for others also to do the revision. And the third quality of the soul is avikarya, ayam uchyate. Ayam means soul. Uchyate means it is told like that. Uchyate. Avikarya. Vikar means changes. Vikar ho jana. Avikarya. There is no change in the soul. So what are the six, the changes of the body? The six changes of the body, like the body takes a birth, then there is a growth, and after growth, it maintenance, it remains for some time. Then there is a byproduct of children, and then dwindling. Then it starts to become old age, and after old age, finally, what happens? Death comes. So these are the six stages of the body: birth, growth, maintenance, byproduct, dwindle, death. So these six stages of the body goes through these six phases. But here is telling the soul is avikarya. The soul doesn't go through all these six changes. The soul is fixed. The soul is nitya. The soul is eternal. The soul is permanent. That is what Krishna is telling. And then nanu sochitum arhasi. Because of this, my dear Arjuna, sochitum means chinta karna, sochna, sochitum. Nanu sochitum. So you should not lament for this soul, because the soul is eternal. It is not going to die. It is not changing. So why to lament for an eternal object? So in this sloka, in the verse 25, Krishna is telling the four qualities of the soul. So I would request the participants, please write these four qualities in the chat box, so that all will be benefited. The four qualities of the soul, and write in the chat box. Okay, so then we will see what Prabhupada is telling in this purport. Let's try to understand. So Prabhupada is highlighting one thing. He's telling that many things we accept based on the superior authority. So many things we accept based on the superior authority, whether we like or not. We have to accept many things based on the superior authority. For example, suppose you want to know who is your father, then who is the authority for that? To ask your mother, right? And mother tells that he is your father. Just accept that, and you accept that he is your father. Similarly, to understand that the nature of ourself, that we are not this body, but we are the spirit soul, the authority is the Vedic knowledge. The Vedic knowledge, the Shastra, the Vedic encyclopedia that explains that who we are. And we have to put some faith on that, then only we can understand. Otherwise, we can't understand. So the Vedic encyclopedia, the Vedic Shastra are like the mother, Veda Mata. So when you put faith on the words of the Mata, then we understand, then we get our answer that who we are, who is God, what is our duty towards the God, what we should do. All these things we understand from the Vedic Shastra. But to understand that, we have to put our faith on the Shastra. That is the main point Prabhupada is highlighting in the purport. And then Prabhupada is explaining the verse 26, Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, verse 26. So now Krishna is he is thinking from perspective of other philosophers. Till now, Krishna is giving his own philosophy. So now Krishna is thinking, okay, you might be thinking that there are so many philosophers are there, so many philosophies are there. Let's try to understand their philosophy. And according to their philosophy, also let's analyze. So now Krishna is going to explain two philosophy. One philosophy of the Charvak philosophy. You might have heard the name of Charvak Muni. And the second philosophy of Buddhist philosophy. So Krishna is saying, let's take these two philosophy and try to understand who are we according to their philosophy, and let's see whether it's a point of lamentation or not to kill the opponents. So verse 2.26. Atha chainam nityatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho nainam sochitum arhasi. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, oh my dear Arjuna, let's say, let's take an assumption. Atha, even if Atha means, let's take an assumption. Suppose Atha chainam, cha enam means this soul, enam means this. So the matter we are discussing now about the qualities of the soul. Okay, so enam, Arjuna, let's take example of this soul, enam. Nitya jatam. Nitya jatam. Nitya means what? Continues. Jatam is born. Let's take that soul is continuously taking his birth. Continuously the soul is taking his birth. Nitya jatam. Nityam va manyase mritam. And manyase, and if you think that nityam va mritam, and continuously dying, the soul is continuously taking his birth and continuously dying. So this is one assumption case. That means what? That means is telling there is body equal to soul. Getting? So the bodies are taking birth and the bodies are dying. Means there is body and soul is one only. There is no concept of separate soul. So when somebody dies, means everything gone, finishes, the end. Picture finishes. So that is the concept is telling body and soul is same. So these philosophers, Buddhist philosopher, Charvak philosopher, they say that everything is same. Body and soul is same. It's not different. So when a person dies, means everything finishes with the death. So then Krishna tells there, Tathapi tvam mahabahu. Then still, oh my dear Arjuna, Mahabahu, Nainam sochitum arhasi. Even if you are thinking that this body and the soul both are same, this body and the soul both are same, even if you think like that, then also you will not need to lament. Why? Because if the body and soul are same, and when the body dies, the soul is also dying, that means what? There is no next life. There is no next life means there is no karma. There is no karma means there is no suffering. So why to lament then? We're getting the point of Krishna. So Krishna is telling, then khao piyo es karo. That is what the Charvak philosophy na. So Charvak says that whatever time you have in this material world, who sees what happens after death? Enjoy the life. Enjoy the maximum you can in your life. Drink, eat, marry, enjoy, whatever you want to do, do it. Because once you become old, you can't enjoy. So this is called Charvak philosophy. Charvak he was a sage, he was a rishi, and his philosophy is like that. But that time he used to tell that Jivat Jivat Ghritam Pivet. So drinking ghee is like a very enjoyment, sense gratification. The Vedic time. So he used to tell that whenever you are eating, put some ghee on your foodstuff and eat it. And take hot rice and mix with ghee and eat it. It's like nowadays drinking wine or eating non-veg. So that was a Charvak philosophy. There is a sloka. It tells that eat as much as of ghee you can and enjoy the life. So that was the enjoyment, the sattvic enjoyment. So that is Charvak philosophy. So the concept is that they think that body and soul is same. So when the body dies, means everything finishes. So then where is the punishment? Where is the concept of narka? what is the concept of karma? So there is no such concept. So then Krishna is telling, see Arjuna, if you are thinking that there is no soul, then also don't worry na. Because if you are killing them, dying them, everything finishes by that. They will, and you will also not get any sin, because you are thinking that you will get sin in the next life. Because you will not get any next life only. This is the final life. So why to bother so much? That was the Arjuna, that was the Krishna's main point he's telling to Arjuna. And then Krishna is telling that, Krishna is then started smiling on Arjuna. So Krishna is smiling, Arjuna is bewildered. Why Krishna is smiling? So then Acharyas tell, the Lord then addresses Arjuna with a mocking tone. O mighty armed one, you being the best of the warrior, following Vedic tradition should not hold such wrong views. For the namesake, I just told this opinion of different philosophers, but this is not correct. Just I explained this all philosophy. You should not believe on this philosophy. Just for a fun, I just explain all this Charvak philosophy, Buddhist philosophy. Actually, these philosophies are wrong. Krishna is telling. That's what Krishna explained in this sloka. And then Krishna explains the verse 27. In the verse 27, Krishna is going to explain the concept of birth and death. Because here he told everything finishes with death. Exactly, it doesn't happen like that. So Krishna explains the reality, Arjuna, is this 2.27. Jatasya hi dhruvar mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyarthe na tvam sochitam arhase. So here Krishna is explaining Jatasya hi dhruvar mrityu. Jatasya hi dhruvar mrityu. Jatasya means the person who has taken birth in this material world. Jatasya. He, dhruva means for sure. Dhruv is determination, for sure. Mrityu, he will die. The person who has taken birth in this material world, for sure he will going to die. Okay? And then in the second line, the interesting second line, he tells, Dhruvam janma mrityusya. And the person mrityusya, so the person who has already died, mrityusya, means he has already died. Dhruvam janma, for sure he will take birth. So Krishna is telling the person who is born, for sure he will die. And the person who is dying, for sure he will take birth. There is no doubt at all. So that's what the Krishna is. Now Krishna is putting the googly to Arjuna that the person who has taken birth, he is going to die. And once he dies, he is going to take birth again. Because the body is destroying, the soul is not destroying. The soul is changing the body. And the soul is rotating in the life cycle, birth and death life cycle. This concept of Arjuna, Krishna is telling to Arjuna in the verse 27. Tasman, therefore, apariharyarthe. Therefore, apariharyarthe. Apariharya means unavoidable. Therefore, this situation cannot be avoided, Arjuna. Whoever has born in this world, he will die one day. And whoever has died in this world, they will born one day. So nobody can change this situation of this world. Apariharya. Apariharya means unavoidable circumstance. It will happen. Natum sochitum arhasi. Because of that. Now sochitum. Sochitum means lamentation. Natum. Don't lament. Natum sochitum arhasi. Oh my dear Arjuna. Because of this, don't lament. Because the person who is born, if he will not kill, somebody will kill. Because for sure he will die. So you are becoming an instrument only. You don't think that if you are not killing, then he will live for eternity. Arey Baba, nobody will live for eternity. They will also die. So you are just becoming an instrument in their death. So if you are not killing, somebody else will kill them, and they are going to die. So why you are lamenting so much? And when they die, that is not the end. After death, again they will born. Again there is a birth. So why you are lamenting? So that is the point, main concept Krishna is explaining to Arjuna in the verse 27. Even if you decline the fight, these people will die with the exertion of their present karma. But But if you will not fight, the main point Krishna is telling, if you will not kill this opponent, you are doing adharma. You are deviating from your dharma and you are getting sin. Because this is a war field and the war has already been declared, and you all are in the side of dharma and they all are in the side of adharma, and you are thinking that if I'll kill them and their body will be lost, and I'll get sin. Krishna is telling it's opposite. If you are not killing them, that means, and you are thinking that you are protecting them, you can't protect them, because anyhow they will die, because those who are born, they will die, and death also not permanent, again they will born, so it's a temporary phase. So one thing is that death is for sure, whether you kill them or not. And the second point is that you are thinking that by fighting, by not fighting with them, I'll do dharma. Actually it's opposite. If you will not fight, then you are committing adharma, because you are a warrior in the field of war, and it is your duty to fight. And if you are not fighting, you are not performing your duty, and you will incur a lot of sinful reaction for that, and you have to undergo that reaction. So my dear Arjuna, this is the concept Krishna explained in the verse 27. So today we explain 3 verses. Second chapter, verse 25, explains the qualities of the soul. In this verse, we saw 4 qualities of the soul. The first thing is abhyakta. So we cannot perceive the soul. Achintya, the soul is inconceivable because it is spread across the body with the consciousness. And the third quality is soul is avikarya. The body has 6 changes, but the soul has no change. It is the fixed, permanent. And the fourth quality, we explained that by knowing all these things, you should not lament on the soul. And then in the verse 26, Krishna explains some false philosophy, that even though you may not accept what I am telling, and you may think that I want to hear that philosophy, some Buddhist philosophy or Charvak philosophy, where they say that there is no soul, the body and soul is one only, and with the death everything finishes, then also no need to lamentation, because whatever sin you will commit, there is no reaction, there is no karma, so why to lament? So Krishna is telling the verse 26. But then immediately Krishna tells that this is not truth, Arjuna. Just for the some kind of change, I just explained this philosophy, but this is a wrong philosophy. Actually, the reality is Jatasya hi dhruvar mrityu. So whatever has born, dhruvar mrityu, for sure it will die. And dhruvam janma mrityusya. And whatever has died, for sure they will born. So this life cycle will continue. Anyhow, they are going to die. So if you are taking your responsibility and you are performing your duty, then you will get all the credit and you will get the piety and you are in the path of dharma. But if you are not killing them, you are not performing your duty, and you will get lot of sin, and anyhow they will going to die. And there is no benefit of not fighting. You are thinking that by not fighting you are protecting them. You can't protect, they are going to die. So there is no point of unnecessarily losing your dharma, losing your duty. So better, in my opinion, Arjuna, please take the duty and fight nicely and perform your duty nicely. That will be good for you also, for them also, and for the whole mankind. You can set a good example. These are the 3 verses we discussed today. And in the next class, next Wednesday, again on the 8:30, we'll discuss from the verse 28. So those who are attending for the first time, every week we conduct this Gita Path session, and in this session we discuss 2-3 sloka from Bhagavad Gita for half an hour, and then we open the forum from question answer. And if anybody is connected for the first time and wanted to join, if anybody wanted seeing the recording, because this will be available in the YouTube, and if somebody want to join this session, live session, then send me a WhatsApp message on my number 9930366004. Hare Krishna. So now I'm opening the forum for live discussion. You all can unmute yourself and you can ask any question if you have any questions, or